Welcome to another edition of the Dental Today podcast. Thank you for stopping by. This is brought to you by labmediatv. My name is Hezekiah Morales, and here we go. Remember to follow us on social media at labmediatv. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Dental Today podcast. We are joined by a gentleman who did not begin in the dental industry. He has been in the industry for over 25 years, yet has a very interesting story. We are talking about Dr. Edward Lomire. Doc, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot, Hezekiah, for the invite to your podcast here. I do have a little different background, real quick. I'm from Western Pennsylvania, and my initial degree is in criminology and biology, so I was a criminal biologist. Worked for the federal government for a number of years, and decided that got to be something a little better, and ventured out and had the pleasure of being invited to go to the University of Pittsburgh Dental School, and here I am 25 years later.
Wow. And may I ask, you were a federal agent for the DOJ. What compelled you, what inspired you to first change careers and second go into dentistry of all things?
Well, part of my job, because I had an interest in medicine and, the criminology and the biology, I spent a lot of time in the facilities, in the infirmaries, hospitals, whatever you wanted to call them there. And just being exposed to that, seeing people from really all over the world in the system, and it just came. I ran into an individual that told me, since you like all of this, you want to do anatomy and whatnot, why don't you try dentistry? So we applied, and we got accepted, and here we are. It's quite different, believe me.
Well, not only did you get into dentistry, but you've been in the industry for 25 years, and you've seen the evolution and the birth of digital dentistry like few people have seen it. And you are currently very active in digital dentistry. Can you give us a little bit of your journey in dentistry and how you got involved, and you're still in the breakthrough process in digital dentistry?
Yes. When I graduated, I immediately had the ability to buy an existing practice, and the doc that I bought it from was somewhat progressive for his age at the time. And because I was able to buy it out directly and not be an associate, I had full control. I go back to the days of just at the end of the CIRAC 2 world, where the machine was all integrated, where you took the little square block and kind of made the semblance of a tooth, and then took the handpiece and continued making a tooth. Then we evolved right into CIRAC 3. Went from there. I've been in digital radiography from day one. Everything in my office. I got rid of paper charts within the first 3 months of being in the office. We've learned to love to hate computers. We have many of them, and I don't even know what version of our first computer, but I know it was one of those ones that took 3 of us to lift up into the office. It was huge.
Wow.
So I've evolved from there to down to really what we're doing here. I'm holding a cell phone, and we're here doing this via this, this little piece of technology right here. And the dental office, everything in my office is completely digital. From the CIRAC world all the way into right now the Prime Scan. I was fortunate enough to get machine number 5 in the country, from what they tell me. I can only repeat what they tell me. and they we continue. We have an education center. Wow. As well as a dental office. We have a commercial lab as well. I kind of oversee that, but it's run by my younger part of my family. I don't like to use the word kids because they're not kids, they're young adults, and they're doing a fantastic job. And we've partnered with some of the larger companies, and we have a lot of doctors come into our facility in the education part of it to learn the digital workflow, the integration, work with labs to help them partner with their doctors, how to communicate. Because being on both sides, me being the doc, I know when somebody, knocks on my door and says, I got this new great product, I got a new great service. The standard is, okay, send me an email, we'll check it out. And of course, it never gets checked out. So I'm on both. So I know how to help the lab people, the doctors to make the connection. So many docs think they have a CEREC unit, and the only thing, it's that they can make single crowns with like this fine product that we're going to be talking about here soon. But they don't realize that machine can produce a whole lot more with all of the products that we got available. So yeah, we're making the integration between that and doing just everything digital. I even go as far as digital dentures.
Wow, that's amazing.
Basically, there's no impression material in my house. I mean, you might see a couple little cartridges here and there, but we really push the digital aspect. It seems to really work. There's a lot of things that we're learning because it's so evolving. With scanning for the dentures and just everything about it. But the biggest thing is I've tried every product that's been out on the market has been through my office. Good, bads, and indifferent. We've been for the past year and a half. We've been involved with the HASSBio people and the Ambermill blocks, and that has been phenomenal for us. And we've been able to not only utilize it in my office, but I also have a couple of labs now that are starting to utilize and see, how nice it is and everything about that. So between that and, the digital world and having some awesome products, I don't ever see going backwards. It's just, completely forward.
Wow.
And it's amazing.
It certainly is. I am very, very new to the industry, yet I've had conversations with people that were there as yourself from the beginnings of the explosion of this digital age in dentistry, and it's so amazing to see how fast this technology has taken over and really improved so many processes, and really improved the communication, as you were mentioning. Or it allows the conditions, by my understanding, for communication to be improved, because now it's so easy for the doctor to send the STL file to the laboratory. The laboratory receives it, starts working on it, and sends it off. And he didn't have to worry about an impression that wasn't on par, right?
Exactly.
It was simply a digital file that went through. We received it, Doc. Here's the end product, and everybody continues about their business and continues to evolve in this digital dentistry. And it's amazing what you're sharing with us, that you had the computer that was a couple of bricks smashed together, right? In terms of weight.
Pretty much, yeah. A 60-pound item, and now we're down to about a 4-ounce piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And when you say, about all of this digital, the nice thing is the communication factor we have right now is these little cell phones, and it directly linked with our computers, with the Prime Scan, the OmniCam. I really, just all of them, the scanners. And we are so real time. We have some accounts now that are learning, and what they'll do is they'll prep the tooth. They'll snap us an image, and they'll say, send it to my lab guys, and they will say, is this margin? Can you do this? Evaluate it. How many times, you send something out and it comes back, the labs can't find the margin, everything that's critical. This digital world's allowing it so real time. I was just on earlier today with one of our folks, a doc, snapped a picture because I said, we have a few little issues, and I'm educating her via the telephone. Right there. She's on her prime scan, and I can remote into that. She can just snap a picture. We can draw. It's beyond amazing. I mean, wow. I never thought, 25 years ago, I left dental school probably being the best guy that could do an alginate impression. We don't alginate. What's that?
What is that?
You just don't know. But the real time with all of this is just phenomenal.
Wow.
I just can't even imagine not practicing digital dentistry.
And one of the things that we mentioned, or you mentioned rather, a moment ago, was the HASSBio products. And on this show, we mostly like to interview dental professionals on what they do and how they do it. But from time to time, we also bring in a resource that I believe that we believe with a couple of friends here, that is something that's worthwhile for our friends in the industry and those that are listening. So Mr. Ryan Lee, the managing director of HASSBio America, reached out to us, and he mentioned this Amber block. And who better to explain the difference between this block and other blocks, and the benefits and how it behaves than Dr. Lomire. So why don't you give us a little information on this product that, as I've heard, is rendering phenomenal results?
Surely. Like I say, I've been working with them for about 1.5 years. I personally have a little over 600 of these in the mouth right now. And Ambermill blocks are lithium disilicate. And that is a very strong product once it's crystallized. The nice thing about the Ambermill blocks is the aesthetics. And aside from the aesthetics, to get to the aesthetics, we have something called high translucency, low translucency, medium translucency, and then maximum opacity. In the industry, we just call we call that just the translucency. With our block, and I say our because I feel that I'm part of HASSBio, because I've been really utilizing their product exclusively, and most of my experience is in the posterior, probably 75%, but I have a lot in the anterior, meaning the front teeth, and they are just gorgeous. We have documented many, many cases. They can be found on some of my websites. But the nice thing about the block, so we'll get back directly to that, is you can inventory one block. Comes in, we call it a 14 size. Seems to be very, that's a universal size to stock. You stock one block, and simply by programming your oven for the crystallization factor, which is part of all lithium disilicates, doesn't matter manufacturer, they all have got to be crystallized somewhere in the vicinity of, I guess about 500, actually it's about 815 degrees Celsius. That's where it starts. So with the Ambermill, you have one block. So you mill it out, you design your crown, you decide at that point, what do you want? High translucency, low, medium, or maximum. And most docs are experienced enough to look at the adjacent teeth and say, okay, and so you choose it. With ours, with this block, you start out with the HT and you program your oven. For instance, I have my oven programmed HT, LT, MT, and MO. And the difference between the four translucencies is the first one is at 815 Celsius, the second at 825, third 840, and then if you want maximum opacity, it fires at 850. That's the peak temperature in your oven.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look there and you say, well, I'm a little unsure, do I want an LT, do I want an MT, do I want an HT? Fire it at the HT. That's the lowest one. You can always go forward. And you can look and you can say, well, you know what? I really wanted that. The value's just a little bit too high. I want it a little lower. So you could put it back in the oven for an additional 5 minutes, raise the temperature, the additional 10 degrees. We have a chart, and for a few minutes, and then you can have your MT, your LT. You just add, so you can start out. You can't go backwards. If you fired it as an MO, you can't go backwards. You can only go forward. And that is huge because with some of the other companies, you have to have 4 blocks because they are either an HT, LT, MT, or an MO.
Right.
So ours, we have 1 block, and it's just simply changing the firing. As far as the milling goes, it's exactly the same as the other companies. You just mill it, design it. I obviously use Cerac, so I can claim to be the expert in that. But I know the other milling machines are equally as well, and it's the same thing. And you just follow our chart, and you can get the 4 translucencies.
Very interesting.
You get that, yes, and after you get that, the translucency that you want, you can stain and glaze these, but they are so nice right out of the box, as I say, that I do very, very little staining. I glaze them all. Don't have to. You don't. If you're not a glazer, you can just crystallize these, and you can polish with a number of polishing instruments that are designed for lithium disilicate. No particular manufacturer. I can't cite any. They all use the same kind, and you can actually put a high polish on these and have the exact same effect. They have what's called in our world, we have opalescence and fluorescence. 2 of the properties that make aesthetics in our teeth. And with the Ambermills, once we crystallize it, and then you look at it, the gradation from cervical to incisal, or incisal to cervical, however you want, you can see how it just looks like a natural tooth. And when you get to those cusp tips, the pearlescence and the fluorescence are like, wow. You under the proper lighting conditions, obviously you can't look in a dark mouth and expect it's it's just going to be like looking at anything else. But they fluoresce. Those cusp tips look like natural teeth.
Wow.
And the engineers in corporate have designed this, and I'm looking at a picture so I can describe to you, but to get what I'm talking about, you really need to go on HASSBio's site, and you can see the pictures of this product, the Ambermill, and see exactly what I mean when I say the opalescence and the fluorescence. And then look at that, and then there's the best way to really evaluate this is, well, actually you use it, and we can make sure that anybody that wants to utilize this, they can just contact me. They can contact Ryan at the corporate, the U.S. corporate here in Fairfax. We'll gladly help you out so that you can try this product. I'm here to educate and help. I provide everybody with my information so I can get them. We do seminars for HASSBio to clinicians and labs so that they can see and understand. And Ambermill, I'm having just an awesome result with it. It's a very durable block. It's probably our literature is putting out about 20 to 25 millipascals above the competition. That's it's notable. So I've had zero issues as chipping, breaking, and like I said, I have a little over 600 of them in the mouth in the past year and a half.
Wow.
So we're really happy with it. And I know some other clinicians that I have taught them all, how to utilize this, and they're relatively happy. It's not that I call everybody up and say, "Hey, how's your Ambermill today?" I mean, I'm putting my own Ambermills in and looking. And so if they want to share, they can share, their results. But like I said, I have lots and lots of pictures. I can't say we take one for every case because it takes a little time, but we have a couple of hundred photos of the before, during, and the after, so that you can see the results of the Ambermill.
Wow. And
we're adding more to my sites and to Ryan's site for the HASSBio, and you can see the results. And the old adage is pictures worth 1,000 words. Just look.
For sure.
And one of the keys to getting the good photography and that I use is I like everybody else, I have the $5,000 to $10,000 SLR camera. It sits on the shelf. What do I use? I use my I don't have the phone that everybody else has. I have a Samsung. I can't plug it, but that just happens to be what I have. And there's another product that HASSBio sells, and it's called the Coca-Lux Lite, and it'll attach to any phone to take photography. It's kind of like a ring flash, but we can't really call it a flash because it's only a light, color corrected. And you want to take some nice photography with anything in the mouth, use that. And so you can see, like I said, my work, what I've done, everything is lighted with the color corrected Coca-Lux, and you definitely can see what these Ambermills look like.
Wow.
And they are it's an awesome product.
And you mentioned that you have a lot of information as pictures and testimonials, all these kind of things on your sites, and you also offer education. So let's start off with your sites. What for our listeners here, what websites can they visit to find this information and further details on your processes as well as this product, the HASSBio Ambermill product?
Okay, you can go to my dental office side, which is lomiredental.com, and that will pull you in there. Right at the very moment, it's under some construction, so I'm not sure exactly what's on it. We actually were just talking a couple of hours ago about some issues. The other one is all3ds.com, and that is the laboratory side. And there should be galleries in there with numerous photos of what's going on. And also on the All3DS site, there's the info side. So anybody who wants to know more from a personalized or wants to get in touch with me, you can send it to the an email to the info, or to tech, TECH. Wow, I can't spell. Tech at all3ds.com, and my guys will give it to me, and we do that. I share a lot of stuff via the phone with the other sites when people hook up with me. It's kind of like you can look at all of my sites. I almost prefer if you hook up directly with me, so I could really tell you what you're looking at, and I don't mind. There's the digital world allows me a little bit of free time, even when I'm with patients. I do this all the time, and and sometimes I will even share it right at that moment exactly what I'm doing live, and they can see me doing.
And is this through like Facebook Live or Instagram Live, or
right on? My young guys do a lot of this Instagram stuff. I honestly, I know how to get on there, but I don't know much else about that part because I'm not like. I'm more interested in doing my digital dentistry, but they actually, now what I've done is somebody can call, we can, and I've done this just like we're doing now. We have the little, I guess you can call it FaceTime with one of the other phones. I don't know what you could call it with here on my Samsung.
It could be the Google app, which I think it's I forgot what it is, but it could be any video,
exactly.
Skype, whatever. Yeah, Zoom,
exactly.
Skype, whatever.
Exactly. And some of the stuff too that I know my young fellas have put on, some like on my Prime Scan, and I have an Omnicam as well, and several other things. But the ones that are run completely from a computer side, they have some kind of a movie program, and I have a couple of other docs that I help out, and we just sort of we team view on there, and I can show them exactly. It's all in real time, and it really works if with the docs, the lab folks, if they contact me. I actually have a couple of right in Florida that I'm texting just a while ago. They're sending me pictures and how do I do this and whatever. And it's fun. If I wasn't having fun doing all this and helping everybody and utilizing great products like the Ambermill, I probably wouldn't be doing dentistry. It's just, I guess I look a little younger than I am. That's what I'm told. I should be retiring, but that's not going to happen.
Wow.
We're having way too much fun doing all of this, and with the education center, and I actually have with my young folks, the young men and women that are in my circle here at the lab and in the office, are really, they're really passionate about all of this too, and they know that they're learning the digital dentistry aspect of it, and that's great. But the part that I like is they know how to run around these computers. They know how to do this. So when I want something done, I mention it, and they'll come to me a few minutes later and they'll say, "Is this what you want?" And it makes it so easy. With the other docs, I've already sent them to some offices that are within an hour from us that are doing business. They've already gone to their offices and set up links, various things, so that nobody has to think. It's just like the app that you and I are working on.
Right.
I push the app, and here you and I are talking. It's the same thing. They have set things up so that the docs don't have to do anything. If they want to know something, and it comes up, it'll flag me, or my team will be there, and they'll run over to me, and they'll say, "Some doc wants to know something right now."
That's
and
amazing.
I'm not opposed to, to tell them all about it.
That's
and
amazing.
How to do some things. So it's just fun. And, the HASSBio people and the Ambermill, it's just, besides the fun, the beauty that I'm putting out and the quality of product with this is I just think it's phenomenal. There's not too many other words, but you can, it's just nice.
Awesome. Well, we have your information for our listeners. You can check the links in the description for those of you that are watching on YouTube. All Dr. Lomire's information, the contact information, the websites he just described will also be in the description, as well as you'll probably see them on the screen as well, and possibly by clicking on one of these cards. It's been a pleasure Dr. Lomire, having you on the show, and I hope we can have you down here in Florida, maybe in the studio, and have you do a little demo or something of that nature.
I would be glad. I'm actually being asked to come down to the Tampa area as we speak, because there's a couple docs need some help, and one of the lab guys is that saying, I'll pay you to come down. I said, well, I don't. That's not the issue, but yeah, we'll be coming. I'd be glad. You got my info. You text me, call me, whatever, and I'll find somewhere on my calendar to come and visit you.
Doctor, we really appreciate people as yourself. Very few of you, but I believe it's something that's growing so much. People wanting to help, wanting to share their experience, their knowledge, and not keeping it to themselves. Doctor, thank you so much for your time. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check out the products from HASSBio, everything that Dr. Lomire has been sharing on and the details, you can check that out in the link below, and we will be seeing you in the next time. Dr. Lomire, see you soon.
Thank you a lot, Hezekiah.